Martino, and it is Friday night here in central US, little after 11 o'clock. And wherever you are, good evening, good day, good morning. You're going east, it's in the day of Friday, Saturday, and going west, it's the latter part of today. So I'm here tonight just to share some thoughts about hope. This is the season of new beginnings. This is a season of restoration. This is the season, it's spring. Spring started last Friday, the 20th, and it's a renewal season. It's a season of reflection of we're almost midway in the year, not quite, but midway, getting there, end of the first quarter. uh, Wednesday will be the 1st of April, and this beginning of Passover. We've been in the season of Lent and Purim, going to Passover, and then next Thursday begins Holy Week, with ending or culminating with the resurrection of Jesus on Sunday, with Resurrection Sunday, as also known as Easter. So it's a very, very, very special time um, in the world. It's a very complex time. It's a very uh, time that there's so many things going on that really cause people to have a spirit or a sense of confusion, a sense of lack of clarity. And so I'm here tonight to share with you, do not, do not feel that way, because you are the master of your life. You create what will be going forward, because you are manifesting the word. Your words have power. Life and death is in the power of the tongue, as the word says. And so be very, very cautious about how you speak over your life. This is, as I said, this is a season of renewal and new beginnings. It's not a season of confusion. Um, and so, hello, hello, as you're coming in for tonight's 38th of the 40 days of, so today is the 38th day of 40 Days of Hope. I'm Megan DiMartino, and welcome. I've been visiting with you every night since February 18th, the first day of Lent, and I was just sharing that this is a season of renewal and new beginnings. Lent began on that, as I said, the 18th of February. Next Wednesday is the first day of April. Last Friday was the first day of spring. We finish off on Tuesday, the first quarter of 2026. And then we're going into almost not quite midway of the first portion, half of the year. So this is a really a very important time to reflect and really look at what's going on. Now, I know there's a lot of challenge going on in the world, but yet there's a lot of restoration happening as well. But that is where hope comes in. Hope is not a amorphous or an intangible. It is a knowingness, and that knowingness is where the foundation happens of where you begin. And I wrote or put together, I should say, a business program in 22 called Propel, Your Business and Life Activation Program. I did this after I sold my luxury day medical and wellness spa, and I had built that over 17 years. Now, that is one of the businesses that I've started, scaled, and sustained, and then sold. And so I knew, as I knew, guys, that it was time for me to give back to you and help you with the foundation and tools that I've done to start, scale, and sustain these businesses. And it all ties back to hope, because when I was a young person, a young girl, I thought I was going to be a fashion designer, meaning that's what I want. I always loved fashion. I lived outside of New York City. I worked in Manhattan. I worked in the fashion industry, and I really thought that that was going to be the trajectory, but God had a different plan, and it was basically in the skincare arena. And so I've been developing several skincare brands. And then, as I said, to that luxury day and medical spa, medical wellness spa. And in 2019, we started doing regenerative stem cell. Now, that started with me, and I'm talking about perinatal stem cell. And that started with me because, according to Western medicine, I needed a knee replacement. But I'm a researcher and I really studied it, and it did not look like a wise thing to do because it wasn't 100%. It was a 60-40 ratio of working. So I felt that a 40% of not working was way too high to take out my God-given patella and, uh, uh, and taking that out and putting plastic and metal in. And then furthermore, it didn't last forever. Another 5 to 10 years, you had to have it replaced again. Oh my Lord. So I said, no, I'm not going to do that. So long story short, I did a lot of research again and found where I could go and get stem cell. And so that was in November of 18. And I had a great response. And then back at the Novital Luxury Day and Medical Wellness Spa, people said to me, could I have that? And I said, let me see. So we were able to, and I brought it in. And so that's a very short of a long story. But my point is that not only did that procedure, that injection give me hope that I could walk, but I knew as I knew that I was going to work through it and find a way to really uh, not have surgery. That was not an option. So I knew as I knew. I didn't know what I was going to do, guys, but I knew I was going to find a way. And that's that hope. It's that seeing it, knowing that I was going to find a way so that I would not have to have surgery. Then in 21, I was introduced to this company, LifeWave, which I represent for with this non-transdermal stem cell activation patch. And I have been working with LifeWave since 21, and we integrate it into our work with our patients, but also many people around not only the United States, but I have introduced it to people all over the world, basically that is changing their health. So you can go to, or the lack of, meaning that so much of what's going on again in the medical world is not health care. So with that, my heart is to give you find things that will help you really not only regenerate and repair, but to restore the quality of your life. So go to propel.megandimartino.com/info, and my link tree is there. Information about LifeWave. Our website is there, novitasspa.com. Information about regenerative, my skincare brand, Novita Spa Clinicals, my book, my that I wrote in 19, that went to #1 on Amazon, Hope and Possibilities. And there's infinite possibilities just over the horizon. Absolutely. And that hope is guiding you over that horizon. But you have to be clear. You have to know what you're going to do on some level. You don't have to have all the answers, but you have to understand you have to see it and believe it, own it, and then take action. And taking that first step is imperative because you'll learn. Taking that first step, the second and third step will be revealed to you, will be. And you'll learn as you go. Nothing stays the same. Nothing, nothing. It's always evolving. It's always evolving. Napoleon Hill has a great quote, and that's going to bring us into the topic of tonight, which is endurance. And but his quote is that in every obstacle, there's seeds to greater benefit. So it's that seed. So don't look at a challenge that's going on in your life right now as, it's over, it's done, I can do it. No, know that that obstacle is producing seeds. It's like planting seeds in the spring for the summer, and then the fall harvest, summer growth and then fall harvest. So just know that those obstacles are that seed for greater opportunity and benefits. It absolutely is. I mean, I've had so many obstacles in my life. And hello, guys. Let me put my glasses on so I can see who you guys are. But we're going to talk a little bit about endurance. And it says unknown, so I don't know. But hello, hello, and welcome. But do hit the subscribe button and ring that bell so that you get notification. We have 2 more nights of our series on hope, and then we'll do others. And you can go back to the other subsequent I hear on YouTube other series that I've done, but they're also on the Propel, on the link tree. You can find it there. But also have podcasting. So this will become a podcast. And I interview people, Unique Leaders Live are there. The Propel Deep Dives are there with other really cool um, folks from many different uh, not only business people, but authors, speakers, artists, just people that have started, scaled, and sustained businesses, and many of them have sold them as well. So they're giving you gleaning information that will help you. But endurance is something that I it has become second nature to me because again when you go through things and you go through them there's always a silver lining to them, and that endurance is knowingness. Again, it's that knowingness that God is with you, he will never forsake you, and that in that knowingness of those very challenging times that he is there for us. So with that I want to challenge you to remember others. It's such an important, and I want to just focus on this the last 3 nights of the series about hope, because it's when you're so um, focused on yourself, it's like holding in something, and it does not multiply. Gratitude is the greatest multiplier, because as you are giving thanks, and that is that, again back to that seed, is that seed to nurture and to grow. And so holding on and not sharing and not, we talked a little bit last night about the fruit of the spirit. Um, and one of the fruits of the Spirit, meaning when you are walking in this with the Spirit of God, is that kindness and gentleness, and those fruits are so not aware of yourself, but giving of to others. So the word of God, Romans 15:5, meaning that endurance, but knowing that God is there for us and loving us and will give us that strength to endure, but endure as well in that love, knowing that love is there unconditionally, is to give that to others as well. And that's what I try to do, with these lives for you, to give you that hope and that and understanding that there's infinite possibilities. I mean, guys, it's not just about starting a business. It's really about what is in your heart, not mine. What's in your heart? I mean, it could be to start, a book club. It could be to start a prayer group. It could be to start a nonprofit, or but small, little, teeny, to help veterans in your area, to help kids after school with mentoring. I mean, there's so many people and so many situations and so many organizations have need. And so I just implore you to reach out, to think of others, and to give that love back. Give it back, because as you give, it will be given unto you. Truly, truly will. So know that there's always hope and infinite possibilities. just over the horizon. And what's important about that, guys, is to keep going. It's and never stop. Never stop. So I will see you tomorrow for the 39th day of the 40 days of hope. Thank you so much for being here with me. I hope you have enjoyed this as much as I have. So, just sharing this season with you of hope and infinite possibilities because it's a season of new beginnings. And know that it's never too early or too late to create the life of your dreams. Be blessed.